Silent Hill seems to be on everyone's minds right now, which should be awesome considering the series has been so abandoned and abused for so long. However, this news has caused a bit more agitation than anticipation within the fandom, with lots of negative sentiments being shared online. The lone exception to this negativity seems to be Silent Hill F, one of the many forthcoming projects rebirthing the long-dead franchise, and the only one people seem to be universally excited for. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Remember to like and subscribe for tons and tons of horror content, both new and old, but for right now, let's get into it. When I heard there was going to be a new Silent Hill game a few years back, I was like, okay, cool, that's amazing, thank God. But then I heard it was a remake of 2, and I was like, oh, okay, I mean, with the success of the Resident Evil remakes, I'm happy Konami is finally coming to their senses and picking up the fucking bag. Then it was announced in 2022 that they were actually making 5 Silent Hill projects, which immediately plummeted all my hopes into the ground as I realized Konami had apparently learned nothing. They're like, oh, Capcom's doing really well with the remakes of this old survival horror franchise. We should do that too, but let's do it too much and ruin everything again. Why, Konami? Why? But there weren't 5 projects in the works. There were actually 6. Those being the Silent Hill 2 remake, Silent Hill Ascension, The Short Message, Townfall, the Return to Silent Hill movie, and Silent Hill F. I'm going to be doing videos on all of these games as we learn more, but today let's talk about the one that everyone is clearly the most excited for, or excited for at all, Silent Hill F, or Silent Hill Forte if you want to be fancy. The game is confirmed to be the 9th mainline entry in the series and is being developed by Neobards Entertainment, a small support studio who have had their hands in games such as Onimusha Warlords, Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and a few others. And while it may seem strange that so many people are excited for a game being developed by a studio without much renown, it makes much more sense when you learn that the writer of the game is famed cult writer Ryukishi07, responsible for the When They Cry series or Higurashi series, or however you want to say it. There is a lot to unpack here as to why Ryukishi being involved is so exciting, but before we jump into that, I want to talk a little bit more about the game itself and why people are so excited about this thing. Silent Hill F will be taking place not in the United States, but rather in 1960s Japan. And while the trailer gives us very little to go on, it is immediately clear that this game has a vision all its own, and it doesn't feel nearly as derivative as much as the other games on offer from the series. With modern gaming being in this destructive rinse and repeat cycle of vapid garbage between the live service games, Marvel wannabes, and remakes, Silent Hill F appears to have something of its own to say, so it's no wonder why everyone is so excited. Now, this has been called a prequel by some outlets, but I'm not really convinced of that. It is true that it technically takes place before the rest of the games, but according to the writer of the second and third game, Silent Hill is not a place, it is a metaphor. So who knows? It might be a prequel, I guess, maybe a kind of origin story, not that origin story, but I'm really excited to find out. I mean, I'm excited for this game overall. There's a real sense of anticipation around Silent Hill F, which contrasts directly to the dread I felt in the initial announcement of all these games and the dread that most people feel about where the series is heading in general. Now, as I mentioned, the trailer does have very little to go on and it's extremely cryptic, and some people might see that trailer and go, ugh, why is everyone getting so excited? It's just a cryptic CG trailer and the only way to understand what's going on is by watching a fucking analysis video on it. But to that, I say, woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo! This trailer is decorated in dense symbolism on every frame, and the reason we know it's symbolic and not just the fans reading too far into it is due to the striking amount of narrative congruence found in these references and how many of them line up to one another. My friend the Gaming Muse did an incredible analysis of the trailer, which I highly recommend watching in its entirety if you want to know more, but essentially we're looking at a story set in 1960s Japan. The game will likely be leaning on themes relating to the fallout of war, the deaths of children, the destructive and reproductive effects of nature, and of course, lots and lots of flowers, both symbolic and maybe even a little antagonistic. Definitely not doing the story justice there, so check out the analysis video I have linked below for more on that. Now, it's been speculated for a while that Silent Hill: The Short Message is related to Silent Hill F. However, those speculations seem to primarily have existed prior to the release of The Short Message, and having played that game, I don't really see how this can be the case. case. There are some similarities you can draw from, specifically in relation to the flowers and cherry blossom imagery, but beyond that, I'm not so sure. Maybe these were originally supposed to be related, and hell, maybe they will be, but the short message is an incredibly self-contained story about high schoolers in Germany, and F is about children in the 1960s Japan and being developed largely by a completely different studio, so I personally am no longer convinced that these properties will have anything to do with one another. Okay, so now let's talk about the people making the game. Of course, atop the pile of folks we need to talk about is writer Ryukishi07, best known for writing 2002's cult phenomenon visual novel Higurashi When They Cry, a psychological horror murder mystery that has spawned everything from manga to a multitude of anime adaptations, live action movies, television series. This thing is absolutely massive. I haven't played it, so I can't offer too much insight or opinion on the game itself beyond just how successful and beloved it is, but I will be taking a look at the PS2 version of this game sometime soon for sure. Also confirmed to be working on the game is producer Motoi Okamoto, producer, story writer, and director of the short Message, who before working on Silent Hill games worked on Pikmin, Wind Waker, Super Mario 64 DS, and directed We Play. Not super relevant to this, I just think it's kind of funny. And lastly, we have the individual working on this game that we know the least about, creature designer known simply as Kara or Kara2 on Twitter. It's been a struggle to find much info at all on this person, but we do know that they did creature designs for the visual novel Spirit Hunter NG, as well as the Square Enix strategy free-to-play game Servant of Thrones. Honestly, this makes me all the more excited because now we have someone we know incredibly little about, with their name being plastered all over the trailer, and it carries an air of confidence we sometimes see with unknown or underrated actors who get top billing in major films. It looks like the team is trying to do something specific and visionary, and they're backing that up with such a specific and largely unknown team. Silent Hill F is likely going to land in 2025 or later, as this year is already half over and we've seen nothing beyond the teaser, and Silent Hill 2 is also releasing this year, but I am happy to wait as long as I need to make sure that we get a game that is as ready and polished as possible. Silent Hill needs a win so bad, and I really think this could be the one. Because between Ascension's well-deserved derision and the trepidation surrounding Silent Hill 2 and the distrust of Bloober Team, and then adding on top of that the divided feelings of Short Message, which I personally enjoyed but some people definitely didn't, the series needs a confident mainline entry that can serve as a return to form, and like I said, this could be it, and I'm really hoping that it is. But that does it for me in this video today, everybody. I appreciate you all so much. Please leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think of Silent Hill F, and if you think it's going to be a win or Konami's going to fumble the bag yet again. I'm definitely curious to hear how all of you feel. Please like and subscribe. If I haven't said that already, I might have. I'm not sure. Appreciate you all so much, and I'll smell you later.